Hello everybody, today we will be taking a look at the GT 730. It will be at stock clocks, it has only 1 gig of VRAM, and we will be trying out some modern games such as BF1, Effect Andromeda, and Crysis 3, and it has a VGA connector. And moving on to our first game, we have Battlefield 1. At 1080p low settings, we have an average frame rate of 21 FPS. Now, that is quite horrendous. In fact, it is basically unplayable. Go try and play with this card at 1080p. You will not have a fun time. However, I will say that when I was able to drop it down to about 1280 by 720, so 720p, I was able to reach 40.5 average FPS. So with the resolution set to 720p, we actually have a very playable frame rate. Surprising, because this card is absolute trash, essentially. Not saying anything bad about people that have the card, but I'm just saying it's a pretty bad card for modern games. But if you do feel like playing BF1 with the GT 730, it is quite possible. It does only have a gig of frame buffer, so anything at a higher resolution than 720p will practically be impossible in terms of modern gaming. But you know what? If you're just looking to play some games, you don't care about, your graphics settings, your resolution, if it looks pretty, if the frame rate's good, and you just want to have a good time, then this is the card for you. So here's a BF1 gameplay. It actually looks pretty decent, to be honest, even at 720p, but then again, this is a low setting, so it's playable. And now moving on to a much more modern game, Mass Effect Andromeda. At 720p low settings, we have a quite playable frame rate at 30.8. So it's not exactly 60, it's not perfection, it's not the smoothest thing in the world, but it is somewhat playable. And if you want more, well, tough luck, you're not going to get it. You could overclock the card, but you're probably going to get half a frame. But anyways, I will say that it's actually kind of impressive that, an older card, and especially one that's very low tier, I would say, is actually able to play Mass Effect Andromeda. So, if you want to grab some buddies and you have a trash PC, still not trying to be rude to anyone, just saying, and you just want to play, Mass Effect Andromeda, you could just pop a 730 in there if you have a really bad PC and, play it somewhat at very low settings. You could even drop the resolution below 720p if the game supports that. I didn't actually check. I don't think I'm ever going to do a resolution test below 720p. Hopefully never. But overall, it's actually still amazing, the fact that you can actually kind of play this game. I did notice there were some random slowdowns that I occasionally witnessed. But it was actually kind of stable because the minimum FPS was only 26. So it didn't actually drop down to like completely unplayable levels all the time. So yeah. There you guys go. And last but not least, we have Crysis 3 running at 720p, low settings, averaging about 32 FPS. This surprised me very much. The game was highly playable. I don't know if I stated this previously, but every single recording that you have seen so far in this video has been on the GT 730. I always try to record on the same graphics card that I'm doing the video on. So as you can see, this is gameplay directly on the 730. So, if you want to be a commentary player for Crysis 3, you can with this card. If you want to still do that for some reason. But anyways, the gameplay was actually quite smooth. I was able to play a few multiplayer matches perfectly fine. If you're curious on how I benchmark these games, Crysis 3 was benchmarking a playthrough of the first level. Same thing with BF1, it was a playthrough of the first level, trying to repeat with as many similar variables as possible. And last but not least, I believe Mass Effect Andromeda was just me running around in a loop around the same multiplayer map that I always do, which is kind of like the deserty map they have with the few buildings. But overall, it's not a bad card in a sense. I know low-end cards always get hated on, but to be honest, I mean, the only reason why is because they're overpriced. But if you can literally pick this thing up for like 20, 30 bucks, it's actually pretty decent. You could probably actually get a better GPU now I think about like an older one on eBay. But if you see this thing for around 100, God, do not buy it. Seriously, you will just not have a fun day. I know I think I bought this car originally for 100 bucks because I was literally, I just need a GPU, okay? I really needed one. But anyways, I hope you guys liked the video. Go ahead and share it if you really liked it. And if you really, really like the content, go ahead and subscribe. Anyways, thank you and have a great day. Bing.